Hello fashion lovers, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we'll be making a milkmaid dress. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do and turn on your notification button so you'll be notified when next I upload the video. So let's just get into it. So right now I've gone ahead to mark my basic bodies, which you can see right there on the screen. My chest line, breast point, under bust and my waistline. So right here, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my shoulder divided by 2 plus half inches. No, my shoulder divided by 2 is 7.5, and also the half inches, that will be 8. So I'm also marking this, that's 7.5 on my chest line. Then I'm going to connect the two lines together. I'm going to get my neck line, that's 3, and the length is 3 and the width is 3. So I'm going to join the two of them together also, and then connect my shoulder slope, which I'll be going down with 1 inches on that place that I marked my half inches. So I went down with 1 inches and I connected the shoulder slope. That's for my shoulder slope then. So I'm going to find the midpoint of my armhole. That's your armhole right here is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4. You mark the 4, and then on that 4 you go in by half inches and you connect the points again together for your armhole. So after that, I'm going to go on my breast point line. I'll be marking my bust pan. So I'm marking my bust pan divided by 2 inches all through down. From that, my breast point to my under bust, I'm going to join all the lines together. And then on my waist measurement, on my waistline, I'm going to go in with half an inch on each of the sides. So which I'm going to connect it to my breast point line. You can see the way I'm doing mine. So the next on our list is to get 1.5 inches on our bust, under bust measurement. Under bust line, you get 1.5 inches. You can still get 1 inches if you want to, but me, I'm using 1.5 because I want it to be a bit up. Then you connect it to that, and then you measure 4 inches on that your bust pan that you divided by 2. Some people, their own will be 3.5. So depending on your bust size, you mark it on your breast point line also, and then you connect the 3 lines together, your chest, breast point, and you connect them to your the dart you have on your under bust. So now we are going to connect from our armhole to the center pattern. But I'm going to make it to reach my chest line. Okay, so if you have your French curve, I advise you use your French curve, but if you don't have your French curve, you can still do freehand. So this is just a normal curve. It's more like a sweetheart, but it's not really a sweetheart. So I will not be using the yoke anymore. So I'm going to do away with the yoke, and then I'm going to divide my bust measurement on the chest line. I'm going to divide my bust measurement divided by 4. I'm going to add just 1.5 inches because I don't want too much allowance on it. Then on my breast point line, I did not add anything at all. Then on my waistline, I'm going to divide by 4 as well, and then plus 1.5 inches, and also the 1 inches allowance that we removed, so which is going to be total of 2.5 inches. And then also on the under bust measurement, on my under bust line, I'm also going to divide by 4 and then add 2 inches plus the allowance that I removed. So after this, now I'm going to mark my lines, to join them together. This is my main body measurement. So I'm going to use marker and then line up the main body measurements, like with the allowance. All of the thing with the allowance is the one that I'm marking with my marker right now. So the other one is just my main body measurement, and then plus the allowance you get. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. You can just look at it while I cut, and then see the way and the places I'm cutting out, just so you do not make mistakes on your own. So right here, I'm going to use the front pattern to get my back pattern. I've already placed it on top of the back pattern. So right now I'm going to slant the zip the way I used to do for every other dress. I'm going to slant the zip. So you can see this is me slanting my zip, and then I'm going to minus 1 inch, half inches from the down of my fabric. You can see the way I'm doing it. This is just to avoid zip block. So I'm going to use this marker to line up the places that are my main lines. So now I'm going to use my marker to line up all the original lines, just to not be confused on the one I'm using. So now I'm going to use the front pattern to just tick, to locate my back dart. So after that, I'm going to use my French curve to line up everything together. I'm joining it to the one on top the same way we did to the front, but this is just a bit different. So the next thing now is to start cutting it out. So you can just look at the way I'm cutting mine, and then you also do yours the same way. So right away, I'm going to move over to the back, to the front. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut out my bustier. I'm going to just go ahead and cut it out now. Please do pay attention to the way I'm cutting mine, so you also do not make a mistake while cutting yours. And after cutting this now, this is what we have. I have that on the same area, on the two places. Then right now for this cup, I'm going to go ahead and do splash and spread method. Most of you already know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to number them with my numbers, and also give it some space and then cut it out. Okay, and for this I'm spacing it out with 1.5 inches. I'm spacing mine out with 1.5 inches. So after all this, I'm going to just draw the lines and then I'll cut it out. So like this now, I already have my numbers. I'm going to label them 1, 2, 3, 4, so not to get confused. And after this now, I'll cut and replace on a new pattern paper. So guys, this is just what I am saying. I replaced it all on a new pattern paper following my lines. So right here, I'm just using my pencil to just make sure that they are the same, to just kind of label it before cutting it out with the new pattern paper. So after cutting it out, I'm going to go ahead and cut out my fabric with the pattern paper. You already see the way I did it. So for the back, I did not divide the back into two because I'm going to put my darts, and all of them have their linings also. I've gone ahead to cut both the lining and the main fabric, because anyways I want to use the main fabric, the material for my lining, so I'll be cutting them 2-2. Even the bustier parts also have lining, you get, so everything is just into 2. So basically we are done with the upper part of this down of the of our clothes. I'm moving to the down part. So moving to the down part, I'm going to place my tape plus 2 inches, and then I'll mark my half length. You get, I'll just mark on my half length. My half length is 16. So from that half length, I'm going to bring my tape down and then get 9 inches for my hip measurement. On that 9 inches is my hip, is going to be for my hip. Then I'm going to measure my waist on my half length, that half length that I marked. So my waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches. So I'm just going to divide and then add it up. And same thing for the hip measurement also. So after that, I'm going to join everything together from the waist to the hip, and then I'll just go down like a line. The down part is going to be just like a line, so I'll just go down, and then with my scissors I'll just cut everything out. So right here I'm going to move to the front piece of my down area for that slit in the front. So right now, the next thing I'm going to do is to measure out 4 inches, as if I'm adding a dart. I'll measure out 4 inches, and on that 4 inches I'll mark it down. I'll just mark the 4 inches down, then I'll have to cut it straight down all through that 4 inches. I'll just cut it out. So guys, this is it for the drafting of this dress, and if you've watched to this point and you've not subscribed, please do, and see you in my next video. Bye.